So I find it very interesting that the male MAGA Trump worshippers, Trump cult, when they put me down, they call me either a man, self-hate, old, or ugly, or all of three. So projecting, let's see, Trump is old, male, and with those butt lips and that orange hair, he is the ugliest human being who ever walked on two legs. Maybe I should run for president then.
So someone in my comment section said the reason MAGA women are not upset at MAGA men saying your body, my choice is because these are the same type of women who will turn a blind eye whenever the man of the house goes into the daughter's room at night. And honestly, that makes sense. I've been sitting here thinking about it since I read it. And when you think about it through that lens, everything about a MAGA woman makes sense. Everything about her thought process, everything about the way she's behaving, the pick-me behaviors you're seeing from them, the way they're turning a blind eye to your body, my choice. They're saying, I voted for my sons, but they're throwing their daughters to the wolves. It makes sense. These are the women that turned a blind eye when the man of the house sneaks into little girls' rooms at night.
Here's what's happening. Women are rejecting MAGA men completely. Dating apps, dead zones for conservative men in blue areas. Relationships, ending, marriage prospects, gone. And the men are furious. Why won't women date me just because of how I voted? Because you voted to control their bodies. That's why. What you're about to hear is women explaining exactly why they're done, why shared values matter, and why conservative men are discovering that actions have consequences. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's break it down.
Think about it. Am I happy that that's reality? No. But there are those women, and these are those women. They're just like calling themselves something different now. And now it makes sense as to why they voted the way they voted. When you think about them putting a rapist in office, that's who the head of their household is. That's all they know.
The pattern she's describing? It's about selective morality. If you'll overlook documented behavior in leaders you support, what else gets a pass in your personal life? When family values only matter when they're politically convenient, that's not principle. That's performance. This applies everywhere. Liberal, conservative, doesn't matter. But when your entire identity is built on protecting certain values while defending people who violate them, the hypocrisy becomes structural. Women who prioritize authority over safety exist across the political spectrum, but wrapping it in ideology makes it systematic, not situational.
If you're a man and you don't like when women say, oh my god, I hate men, watch this video. A woman says, I hate men, that means because she's largely had negative experiences with men. But it's not all men. I know, but it's a lot, and the sentiment underlying that is we don't know which men are safe. So if you become reactive, you start yelling at us about how it's not all men and some men are good, show us. Don't get defensive, just be there and listen to what we have to say, because trust me, you will be horrified by a lot of our experiences. If we find a man that we like, we will be loyal for as long as we possibly can. There will be no one to even cheat with. We don't like most men, we stay away from them because we feel unsafe.
It's election night eve and the MAGA men are upset. They're out here commenting on everything, like word vomit. But as my good old buddy Connor asked why I hate men like him, this is why. We're gonna read some of these comments. My personal favorite, Gabe. Aw, your dad doesn't think you should reproduce either. How touching. He really said I'd rather have her be a murderer for a daughter than have her raise a human being to adulthood. Gabe, I mean this in the nicest way possible, but I don't think anyone like you should be saying this.
Pattern recognition isn't personal hatred. When women say they're cautious around men, they're not attacking you specifically. They're protecting themselves based on experience. The problem isn't that all men are dangerous. It's that women can't tell which ones are. So when your first response is, not all men, you've missed the point entirely. You're centering your feelings over their safety. Want to be different? Prove it. Call out other men. Don't laugh at degrading jokes. Make spaces actually safer instead of just claiming you would. Women remember who listens and who lectures.
Just talked about this one, but so a family of illegals. First of all, illegal immigrants can't vote. So, I don't know. Sometimes people don't really know how to Google. Also, people like this with the craziest comments never have a picture of themselves or their names on their profiles. In true misogynist man mode, your dad is voting so his daughter can get run through with no consequences. But don't you worry, because Mike loves his wife and tacos, apparently. Clearly he's one of the good ones. This one's bizarre. This man keeps commenting on everything. In 2 days we're going to send all of you back to the caves that you came from, where you can menstruate with your men and share tampons. You should see some of the other comments. So, like, is that explanation enough? Or, like, should we keep going? Because I feel like that explains it.
Watch what happens when someone has no real argument. They attack appearance, age, anything but the actual point being made. That's how you know you've won. When they resort to "you're ugly" instead of addressing what you said, they've admitted defeat. They have nothing substantive, so they go for the cheapest shot available. And notice her response? Unbothered, because she understands something critical. Their repulsion isn't an insult. It's confirmation she doesn't need their approval. That's power.
One of my favorite things that happens whenever I upset MAGA men and they get all up in their feelings and they descend on my post with all their vitriol about how ugly I am and how I look like a man and I need to shave my head or dye my hair blue or I'm a miserable cat lady, I'm dusty, I'm old. I get it. You find me unattractive for so many reasons. Oh no, I'm devastated. Whatever will I do? How do I bottle that feeling? You being repulsed by me is not an insult. It's exactly what I'm looking for.
So, my conclusion is that MAGA folks, whether they are aware of it or not, actually align with a value system and a thinking pattern of an abuser. ABUSER. An abuser doesn't love you or care about your feelings, okay? They really don't. Because to them, you're not a real person. You're just an object to be possessed and controlled. You don't have real thoughts, real feelings, real experiences. They don't matter. You are simply not a real person to an abusive mentality. You are just an object to be controlled and subjugated against your will so that you can always mindlessly follow their will. And they will manipulate you, alternating between charming promises and straight up off-the-wall, drastic sorts of punishments, just to find that magic combination that'll get you to submit.
This is the abuser framework applied to ideology. Abusers don't see people as fully human. They see objects to control. That's why logic doesn't work. Boundaries don't stick, and apologies mean nothing. Now scale that up politically. The love bombing will protect you, alternating with threats, obey or else. Loyalty demanded over truth, dissent punished immediately. This isn't about left versus right. It's authoritarian thinking versus democratic thinking. Control versus cooperation. You can be conservative without being authoritarian. You can value tradition without demanding submission. But when the core message is obey or be destroyed, that's not politics. That's abuse dynamics in a different package. Recognition is protection. See the pattern, and you can defend yourself.
Liberal ladies, whatever the hell you are doing in Washington, D.C., Baltimore area to sort of protest against MAGA, it is working. So my dad, he's older, but he recently started dating again. And he says that there are no women. He's MAGA, he's Republican. And, you know, it's hard having a dad that's MAGA. But he has been pretty aggressive, saying that there are basically no women that will date him because he's a Republican. No women in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area, Pennsylvania area, will date MAGA Republican men on online dating sites. Yeah. And I told him, I'm like, I'm not MAGA, I'm Democrat, right? I'm like, yeah, we got all the ladies, so I don't know what to tell you. I mean, at this point, if MAGA people, MAGA men can't find a partner, as a species, they're going to die out, right? There won't be any. Like, they're not going to be able to have any families, and they're not going to be able to pass on these hateful, bigoted positions. So ladies, listen, I love it. Keep it up. Be picky about who you want to date. Date people that hold your values. I'm loving this. This is great. I think you girls should be really proud of yourselves.
Actions meet consequences. If you vote to restrict women's autonomy, why would they date you? If your politics actively harm the people you're trying to attract, the math doesn't work. This is values economics. Women are setting standards. Shared values matter more than companionship. Safety matters more than settling. And culturally, ideas survive through transmission. If your ideology makes you undateable and therefore childless, natural selection handles the rest. But beyond the irony, this is just self-respect. Don't compromise core values for romance. That goes for everyone. Compatibility isn't political correctness, it's practical sense.
So today's Project 2025 white nationalist, Christian nationalist MAGA party, their goal is to put just white men in charge of everything. And they will do it by dehumanizing and spreading lies about anyone else who's not a white male, preferably a white male evangelical. So everything that's being said about the wildfires, throwing DEI into it, they're just continuing to put the final nail in the coffin so that black people are overlooked, gay people are overlooked, women are overlooked, including you white MAGA women, for hires for these jobs. This is what they're doing. For instance, did anyone know there's many more fire chiefs involved with putting out these fires in the areas they're responsible for? It's not just one white gay woman. Are you hearing anything about all of them? They're all white men. That's why you are not hearing about them from Fox News and you name it. Does anybody know the importance of DEI initiatives? This whole area where they were pushing DEI was to respond to the years of white supremacy within the ranks of the fire department. They employed black people, they employed brown people, they employed women, they employed gay people, not in large numbers whatsoever, even though that whole area is completely diverse. What happened was there were continued reports of harassment, bullying, even physical abuse. And if you know about firefighters, they have to live together for 24-hour cycles. And women were being abused. Black people, brown people were being abused. Gay people were being abused by the white male supremacy structure within these ranks. And so one way to address it is to make the ranks look more like your community. And these gay people, brown people, black people, and women probably don't even know what MAGA evangelical Republicans are saying about them because they are busy fighting these fires. They're exhausted, they're tired, they're hungry, they're stressed, but they're the ones out there fighting the fire, and they're doing a damn fucking good job of it. They're not sitting behind their keyboards or behind the Fox News cameras, just stoking hate and spreading lies. And speaking of DEI, I don't know. It's increasing over there because there's black people by the hundreds that just flew in from Africa, all firefighters, to help put out the fire. There's brown people by the hundreds coming from Mexico to put out the fire. Is that going to be the next conversation about DEI? Huh, Fox News? Are you talking about that? Huh, Fox News? Huh, James Woods? Huh, Mel Gibson? It's about elevating white men to control everything.
Classic scapegoating strategy. Blame diversity for any problem regardless of actual cause. DEI initiatives exist because there was documented discrimination, harassment, hostile work environments. People were being driven out of jobs based on identity, not competence. So they diversified, made the force reflect the community it serves. Now there's a disaster, and suddenly, diversity caused it, despite zero evidence. Meanwhile, those diverse firefighters are literally fighting the fires, exhausted, risking their lives. International firefighters from Mexico, from Africa, all helping, all highly skilled. But that won't get coverage because it destroys the narrative that only one group is competent. This is propaganda designed to roll back progress by manufacturing fear. Recognize it for what it is.
This is a message to all MAGA women. I want you to know that no matter how much you decide to hate on feminists, your husband will be in our DMs and he will be asking us to step on him because he has a fantasy of a powerful woman dominating him. When I say I get hundreds of messages like this each week, I am not exaggerating. Some of them are willing to pay very well for me to insult them or to blue pill them, which is totally fine. Everyone has their own preferences, but when they're married to you and you hate me, just know what he's doing. A lot of strong, masculine provider men don't even want that title because then sexually, they don't want to be in charge anymore. They're tired. That other role doesn't come naturally to them. And that should show you how much of the patriarchy is harmful. They don't even want to be playing this role of your devout husband who is super masculine and macho all the time. They just want to be able to let loose. And they see feminists as a safe space to do that while ironically demeaning us online. It's because they know they're not supposed to like it, and yet they are attracted to us because of the power we hold in our lives. Don't trust your MAGA husband. Okay, bye.
Projection is real, and it's exhausting. People loudest about condemning something are often struggling with it privately. The politician screaming about family values while cheating. The preacher ranting about sin while embezzling. And yes, men publicly raging about feminism while privately messaging dominant women. Why? Rigid gender roles are suffocating. Men are told to always be in control, always dominant, no vulnerability allowed. That's unsustainable. So they perform publicly, then seek release privately. Patriarchy restricts everyone. Men can't be emotionally honest. Women can't be fully autonomous. The system hurts all participants, but people keep defending it because admitting the trap means confronting the lie.
Ladies, quit sharing that Nick Fuentes video about him bragging about saying, "My body, my choice," and then adding you crying to the video. As an ex-stripper, I am going to tell you about the demographic, specifically the MAGA men, okay, and how they really are and how they really think so that you can quit being a victim. There is a reason why Grindr crashed during the RNC that was held in Milwaukee. Even outside of working at the strip club, I worked in roofing sales. I was the only woman and the only black. I worked with nothing but white, conservative men. I purposely drank with them and had one beer while they got plastered, and they revealed all their little gay-loving secrets to me. Them having songs for one another. One of them literally told me how they went to a gay bar in Colorado, and he loved the fact that someone was paying for his drinks, a man was paying for his drinks, and that if it came down to it, he would be willing to let another man stick his thing in there so that way he could have that man spend money on him. Ladies, everything that these men are telling you is a projection. Stop being a fucking victim. Stop wasting your tears on these men. If you ask any dominatrix, any dominatrix, their clients that want to be subbed the most are these MAGA conservative men, okay? It's a projection. This is also why they are so holier than thou, because it's a projection. It's a projection to cover up what they really want. They want to be dominated over, okay? They want to be dominated over. And so in order for them to hide that, they have to say things like, "Your body, my choice." The men who are typically the loudest when it comes to this type of stuff are always going to be the men that are hiding something, it's something and it's a way that they're living their life and they don't want you to know. So what do? They want to make you scared and make you be fearful. Stop being scared and stop being fearful. They want you to be a victim. They want you to be scared. They want you to be crying. Stop giving them what they want. Stop giving them a reaction, a very weak and very vulnerable reaction, because they got you exactly where they fucking want you. You wanna know why I keep my nails sharp? Psh. These same demographic of men really want someone to tell them what the fuck to do and to be a bitch to them. That's the reason why they voted for who they voted for, okay? Because they're on the bottom and T-Daddy is on the top, okay? They're taking T-Daddy. They want to take T-Daddy. All the unaliving threats, all of the RAPE threats, none of that shit ever is going to faze me, okay? As women, we get that shit all the time, okay? We have comments like that said to us all the time. This is no different. Stand up and be an asshole, okay? Cut them off when they're talking. Dominate over them. Stop crouching down, being submissive, and crying at every little sign of them showing resistance to them giving a fuck about you. They never gave a fuck about you, so quit giving a fuck about them. Hurt their feelings. Shame them back. The men will be okay. Quit taking the brunt of their misplaced anger, because the anger isn't really towards you. It's towards themselves. It's towards themselves because they're constantly projecting how it is about how they really feel, and they're always going to project it onto women to make you feel bad, to make you feel scared. You're going to be fine. Being a black girl growing up in a conservative town, I had nothing but white boyfriends. I can't tell you how many people would call my boyfriends NIGGER lovers, calling them that all the time. It would be these same men. Oh my God, I wish I want a chance with you. Tell me what to do. I'll be your slave. Trust me, even outside of dancing, I've lived to tell the tale. A lot of them genuinely want to be dominated over.
Her core point, stop feeding the dynamic they want. Bullies need fear to feel powerful. When you cry, beg, or submit, you're giving them exactly what they crave. They get off on your reaction, so flip it. Stand your ground. Be unimpressed. Talk back. Now, if you're in physical danger, safety first. Always. But internet trolls and emotional manipulation, don't give them the satisfaction. Women spend ridiculous energy managing men's emotions, soothing egos, avoiding anger, and she's saying stop, let them handle their own feelings. That's not cruelty, that's boundaries. And boundaries are survival.
They're projecting the fact that they're just saying that they want to dominate over you. Girl, they just want another man. That's really what it is. They just want another man, but they're not comfortable with that. So, per usual, they have to take it out on another woman. Stop taking it personally. Get you a pew-pew, some mace, a taser, a knife, a switchblade, and get you some long nails and just keep your head on the fucking swivel. And hand deliver the man that they really want to. But talk shit to them. Be mean to them. Okay? Please. Be mean to them. Talk shit back to them. They will be okay. I promise you. They will be okay. This is full proof how patriarchy hurts men too. Patriarchy hurts men too because men cannot be who the fuck they want to be. So they have to closet themselves and shield themselves off from who they really want to be while they fall in line with indoctrination of religion when they really don't believe in it. That's why you have pastors and priests and so much PDF files in the Catholic Church, in the church, because that's who they really are. They cannot fully be who they want to be. The reason why they have mistresses, they have babies outside of the marriage, they are dealing with other men while they're married with women, because that's really what they want. That's what they really want. They have to hide it under things like religion, under things like conservatism. They have to hide these things, ladies. Please understand, it is not your job to take this shit personal. Keep yourself safe. Keep yourself protected.
Final point. Rigid systems create secrets. Secrets create shame. Shame creates cruelty. Men who can't be authentic, because masculinity demands constant performance, hide behind aggression, religion, politics. That pressure doesn't excuse harm, but it explains patterns. The solution isn't mocking people for struggling. It's dismantling the systems that force performance over authenticity. Let men be vulnerable without status loss. Let women be powerful without being threatening. Let people be human. Until then, protect yourself. Set boundaries. Don't tolerate abuse just because someone's trapped in their own cage. Compassion doesn't mean being a target. You can understand someone's struggle without accepting how they treat you. So here's the bottom line. You can't vote against someone's rights and expect them to date you. Women aren't being political. They're being smart. Why build a life with someone whose values threaten yours? To the men confused, this is accountability. Your choices have consequences. To the women holding standards, don't compromise safety for companionship. Drop a comment.
Real quick, by becoming a channel member, you're not just supporting our work. You're helping us amplify voices, fight misinformation, and keep important conversations alive. Membership gives us the strength to keep producing content that matters. Join today and stand with us in shaping a better future.